You don't have to do that. I just always do it. Now, I have here some all-purpose flour, and I'm going to add some salt, some chili powder, because this is spicy, but you can mix this spice blend up however you want. Some dry mustard, some paprika, some cayenne pepper, because it is spicy, and some black pepper. Those are the spices that I'm using today. We're just going to mix that flour together. We're going to create like a little breading station here. Now, in this bowl, in the original recipe, I don't use this mixture, but I find that it makes it a little more crunchy, so this is what I'm doing. If you don't want to do this extra step, you don't have to. Just don't pat the chicken dry. Now, I have a large skillet heating up with some oil. Just beat that all together here. Get that excess egg off of that. Put that here. The oil needs to be about 350 degrees. If you have a thermometer like this, then you can test it. If you don't have a thermometer, just be careful. I'm wearing an apron today because I don't want to get grease all over me. Just drop something in there and see if it bubbles, or you can take, let me find a round one, a small round one if possible. Oh, come on. Surely I have a small round. That'll work. A wooden utensil, and drop it in there, and you see how it's not bubbling too vigorously, but it's bubbling around the bottom. That will tell you your oil is hot too. The safest, most accurate way is to simply use a thermometer. Now, I am going to get this started real quick. I have here just some small new potatoes that I have washed, and I'm going to put these in a pan of water to cook, just to let those go ahead and start. If you don't have the little new potatoes, you can use other potatoes, just cut them into smaller pieces. It's fine. I just really love those little new potatoes. Now, to bread your food, you need to take one of your pieces of chicken, lightly dip it in the flour, shake off the excess, put it in the egg mixture, and then back into the flour. Keep one hand clean or you're going to have a mess, quite frankly. So I like to just dip it, coat it really good, shake off, most of the excess, and then drop it into the oil. And again, you can use legs or thighs or cut up a whole chicken. Whatever you want to do is fine. If you're doing a mixture of legs, thighs, and chicken breasts, I'd start with the legs and the thighs first. I'm actually going to cut this down just a little bit because I don't want it to burn. Start with your thighs and your legs because the dark meat actually takes a little longer to cook than breast meat. Again, I'll just cut these in half. I'm doubling my recipe because I got a lot of people to feed. And let's be honest, chicken is one of those things that is just as good cold as it is hot. So I always make more fried chicken than what I think we're going to eat at one meal, and then put it in the refrigerator because it does get eaten. There is absolutely no waste where chicken's concerned at my house. The reason you dip it in the flour first is to give the egg mixture, this is just eggs and milk, something to cling on to. If you want to use buttermilk, you can instead of the eggs. That makes a great little binder agent, but you don't have to do either one. You can just dip your chicken, wet chicken, into the flour. I just like to double dip mine. And you're just going to keep this going. Don't overcrowd your pan. Probably going to fry half of this at a time. Sometimes I'll have 2 skillets going. But not today, I'm just doing one. Chicken, you can make 1,001 ways. You can spice it up however you want. You could cut this into nuggets and make, wrong way. Flour first. You could make chicken nuggets. Be delicious. But fried chicken is something that I don't personally know of anybody that does not like fried chicken. I don't. Now, sometimes what I'll do, because I'm out of room, is I will go ahead and bread up my chicken, make the coating, get it ready to go, and either just leave it in that pan or put it back on your board until you're ready to fry it. This will fry pretty quickly. It'll just go 2 or 3 minutes on each side, because I'm double, triple dipping that when I'm talking too much and not paying attention to what I'm doing. We have got some massive rain going on, so you might hear some rain. Boy, doesn't that make you just want to curl up, rainstorms, thunderstorms, with a good book and a blanket on the couch and take a nap. Oh, sounds good to me. I love to hear a thunderstorm. I don't like sometimes the problems that come with it, but a good thunderstorm sounds beautiful. My chicken is ready to be turned here. I see it. Look how golden and beautiful that is. Let me wash my claw hand. Let me put that out for just a minute. We're making beautiful fried chicken. I just want to be able to touch my tongs without... Woo, I make a mess. All right, are you ready to turn this? Look at this beautiful golden brownness. That is because the oil was hot. If you put your chicken in the pan, or anything that you're frying actually, before it's hot, what will happen is the food, in this case chicken, will just absorb the oil, and that is not what you want. You want that golden, beautiful crust on your chicken. That's what's so good about fried chicken. Now, let's finish this real quick. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to finish breading up this chicken, watching that. When I come back, we're going to make a butterscotch pie while the rest of our chicken is frying. And we're going to get that in the refrigerator because that needs to set a couple of hours. So I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, now I've just been cleaning up here and checking the chicken. This batch has fried, and what I like to do after I take it out of the oil is put it on a baking rack on a sheet pan with some paper toweling underneath to catch the drips. You don't want to just put it on a flat surface. What will happen if you do that is the bottom will get soggy. But if you put it on a baking rack, then you've got crispy all the way around because air can circulate. So I'm just flipping it as I think it needs it. And then I always check the internal temperature of my chicken. Now, if you don't have a thermometer, that is one piece of kitchen equipment that I recommend, and especially if you're a new cook, because you can't possibly know what the temperature inside that chicken or whatever you're frying is if you don't check it. I like an instant read thermometer, which is a digital, but you can use, you know, any kind of like the probe that has the little dial thing on it. I can tell by looking at that that's not done, but oh, I can't wait to dig into that. So we're going to get started on the butterscotch pie. Now my potatoes are cooking. They're not done. They need about probably 10 minutes. Now I have 1 block of cream cheese that I'm going to start whipping with a hand mixer. It really probably should have been a little bit softer, but we're going to make it work. I have 1 can of sweetened condensed milk that I'm going to put in here. This is not a low-carb pie, sorry. But oh, is it good. Get all of that sweetened condensed milk. I don't like the fat-free sweetened condensed milk. I just don't. If that's what you like, you can use it, but I personally just don't care for it. I don't like pretty much anything that's fat-free. Fat is flavor. So whip that together, and you will have a soft, thick, very thick, creamy texture. This is a real easy pie to whip together. I have 1 package of butterscotch, instant butterscotch pudding. Got to keep an eye on my chicken. And I have, now you could use water or milk. I'm using milk, about 2/3 of a cup or so of milk. And you're going to whip, oh, instantly you get that butterscotch. Whip that together. Till it's nice and smooth. I'm going to have to let that set for just a second here while I check my chicken. All right, let's check our chicken. See what we got. Oh, man. And you don't want to overcrowd your pan. I don't know if I told you that earlier or not, because when you do that, you really just steam the chicken instead of getting that good crisp crust on there, which is what you want. Let me check one here. I would say, well, I turned it off. Let's turn it back on. Hang on. Didn't mean to do that. Into the center, and this is at 187. It's done. I would guess this little one's done. Yep, you see how the temperature, you have to leave it in there till it starts getting up there. That's ready to go. Let me get another one. I'm a left-handed person. It's all backwards for me. Hang on just a second. Let's check this one. Oh, yeah, we're done. Make room. I'll bet most of this is done. But I check each piece to make sure that I like mine to be 180 at least on white meat. Some people will say that's too done, but that's the way I like it. Yep, I'd say we're done. So I check them all. Let me let that one go just a minute more. That one needs a minute more. I was wrong. Let's turn her back on. Just got to check it. You can't go by the outside. That'll be a good indicator. Okay, I'm going to let these 4 pieces go while we finish this. Now, you can make your own fresh whipping cream if you want to, but I'm just using this, the frozen whipped topping that I've thawed. You want about 1 cup or 8 ounces, which is what this container is. And we're going to mix that in. This pie is very, very, very simple, but so good. Whip that into your filling. Oh, man. Okay. Then I am going to finish folding it in by hand, because I like to do that. I like to just get a big flat spatula and just fold in the rest of it. Because sometimes the bottom doesn't get incorporated as well as the rest. Now, you could use any kind of crust you like. You could use graham cracker. You could use chocolate. You know, the pre-made up ones, they sell them in nuts. They do, I love the pecan one, the walnut. This is just a shortbread crust. Use whatever you want. You could use graham cracker. That's more traditional, but I love shortbread. So I thought, well, we'll do a shortbread this time. And then just pile your filling in there. Oh, doesn't that look good? Yum, yum. I always think of Bobby Stanley when I make butterscotch anything because he loves butterscotch. Okay, now just smooth that out. And then you can put the top of your thing over it if you want. I don't think it's needed right now. But you want to pop this in a refrigerator. This needs to set for a couple of hours before you try to cut into it. So I'm just going to put it in my refrigerator uncovered for a couple of hours until it's ready to eat. Let's finish the chicken. I'm betting it's ready to come out. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Make room. I don't like to stack them on top of each other because I don't want it to steam. Let's just, I know that one will be done. All right, so I'm just gonna continue here making room for my chicken. When I come back, our potatoes will be done and we will finish those up. The pie will be chilled, and the best part, we're gonna get to eat. So I'm gonna take a quick break, clean up. When I come back, I'll show you how to finish the potatoes, and then we're gonna eat. I'll be back in just a minute. Now our chicken is all done. Our potatoes are cooked through. I just drained them in this colander. And we're gonna make the sauce that goes on the potatoes. Now I'm using 1 can of cream of whatever you like. You could do cream of chicken, cream of celery, cream of potato soup. I'm using cream of chicken today. But you could use whatever you wanted. And then I'm gonna actually put a little bit of milk in there just to kind of get the rest of that soup out of there. This doesn't take but a minute. We're gonna stir that together. Let's cut that down just a little bit until that soup heats through. Yum, yum. Let that get warm. Okay. Just takes it a minute. Back up just a little bit. And I'm going to add a can of peas that I've drained about half the liquid out. If you don't have any canned peas, you can use that one has a little stem in it. Frozen is fine. I just don't have any frozen here today. So we're going to add 1 can of young sweet peas. To me, potatoes and peas go hand in hand. If you don't want to use the peas for whatever reason, just leave them out and just add your potatoes. And then just gently, and eat a bigger thing, gently fold those potatoes in. And that's it. I will add a little bit of salt because I did not salt the potatoes, and potatoes need salt. And some pepper, because I don't cook without pepper. As you know, I love it. And that's it, folks. There's your creamed peas, just waiting on our the rest of our dinner. Now, I have in my oven some just canned up biscuits. Now you can make your own, but I just wanted to show you a couple of quick little easy recipes to go with your biscuits. I'm going to make two. I have here just some melted butter. Just, that's all that's in here. And I'm going to make a garlic biscuit. And I'm going to add in just some garlic pepper, or garlic powder, excuse me. That's it. Or you could use fresh garlic if you wanted to. And I'm going to add just a touch of pepper to mine. Now, you can, and then when your biscuits come out of the oven, when they're done, we will brush that on. But you got to remember, this chicken is spicy. So I want to serve another kind of topping for the biscuits if you want something to sort of cool down the palate. And this is just honey and butter that I'm letting that butter soften up a little bit. I'm going to actually stick it in the microwave for just a minute. Well, not a whole minute, probably about 30 seconds, and let that melt. And I'll show you what we do with it when our biscuits come out of the oven. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we'll wrap up this program. We'll serve. And the best part, we get to eat. I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, now everything is done. I just used the smaller biscuits. I just baked some biscuits. And remember, we made the two different kinds of toppings. This is the honey and the butter, excuse me, and I just microwaved it for just a second. And what you can do is just drizzle that over top of your biscuits, or you can just serve it alongside the biscuits. Whatever you want to do. Oh, I love it. I love honey. Honey is one of my favorite flavors. And this will just help to cool the palate a little bit. This makes a great breakfast addition too. If you wanted to, have biscuits and honey for breakfast with your eggs and bacon or whatever you're cooking, you could do that. That would be delicious. Or option two is the garlic butter. And so we just do the same thing. We just drizzle the garlic butter over top of the biscuits, or you could actually just coat the biscuits with the butter. Whatever you wanted to do would be fine. However you wanted to eat would be delicious. Either way will work. Either's good. That is good served with pasta dishes too, or really anything. I mean, garlic biscuits go with whatever you want. Now, here's our chicken. I just put a couple of pieces, and I have to have a confession. I ate one over the break, and let me just tell you, it's very, very good. Now, here are our creamed peas, or creamed potatoes with the peas. So you just want to serve that alongside your chicken. If you wanted to have some carrots or whatever you wanted to go alongside, that would be delicious. And here is our pie. It's been chilling in the refrigerator. And let me tell you a little secret with these disposable pie pans. Wanted to say pan and tin at the same time. If you will take some scissors and just cut down the side of the first piece, it is a game changer when it comes to getting that last piece or that first piece of pie out. You know how hard that is? Well, when you use the disposable pans, just take some scissors. Well, I don't have any right here right now, but cut both sides all the way down. You see how we just have this like here and here, and then cut all the way down, and then fold that back and put your pie serving or whatever you're going to use to get the pie out. And the first piece comes out so beautifully. Makes it much, much easier. Sometimes, if you've ever tried to cut a pie, that first piece is hard to get out sometimes. So there's a little hint for you. But here's our wonderful meal, our delicious, delicious dinner. We've got our wonderful spicy fried chicken, that I used breast, but you could use thighs, you could use legs, you can use whatever kind of chicken that you like. If you want to brine it like 2 or 3 hours prior, you can. You can either just salt it and let it set, or you can mix a half a cup of salt to 4 quarts water and then put your chicken in that, submerge it. Either works beautifully. Some people marinate and tenderize their chicken and brine it, if you will, sort of, in buttermilk. Any of that will work, but we made a spicy flour mixture by using chili powder, cayenne pepper, or any kind of a ground red pepper, paprika, salt, pepper, ground mustard adds just a wonderful flavor to it. We made our cream peas with little new potatoes, but if you don't have the little new potatoes, you can just cut regular potatoes into chunks and cook them, drain them. I added a can that I drained about half of the liquid off of new peas, along with 1 can of cream of whatever kind of soup you like. I used cream of chicken, but you could use cream of celery, you could use cream of mushroom, cream of potato soup, whatever you like. And a little bit of milk or water will work just to kind of make that gravy. And there you go, an easy, quick way to make a creamed potato with peas. If you don't like peas, leave them out. If you don't have a canned pea, you could use frozen peas. Either one will work. Here are our honey butter biscuits that we mixed some honey with some butter, baked off just some canned biscuits, or you could make your own, and drizzled those with the honey butter mixture, or our wonderful garlic butter that we made with just garlic powder and butter. And then when they come out of the oven, when it's warm, go ahead and drizzle it over. Thank you for joining with me, and I will see you next time on Everyday Manna.